So the most important thing I figured out from this film is if you put my doggy's ears back, she's a porg. Ha! See, Disney? I don't need to spend money on you guys. I already have a porg. For better or for worse. Alright guys, gals, and everything in between, I'm here today to review for you Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. The Resistance, they're struggling, they're trying to beat the First Order, and the First Order, they got themselves a plan. This film is one of those ones that it is pretty decisively the most anticipated film of this year. I mean, Star Wars everywhere. The hype is just so huge. And does it live up to the hype? No. No, it doesn't. I know some people are gonna get mad, and they're gonna say, oh, you just don't wanna like it. No, I mean, I go in and I'm gonna be fair. I have to definitively say, no, it actually, when I walked out of the film, I kinda had this, reaction. The film is not terrible, but the film is not great. It's a movie. I feel like it's getting way more credit than it deserves from some of the critics. It definitely has some enjoyment in it. For instance, the visuals. There are some shots in this film that are just mind-blowing. Ryan Johnson, or Rain Johnson, whatever his name is pronounced, I've heard it both ways, he directed this film, and in that regard, he did a spectacular job. There are a couple shots in this that are just visually amazing to look at on screen. They feel amazing. You just sit there and you say, yes, that. And then there's those moments that you just feel like, why is this even here? There's a lot of that in this. The Last Jedi, to me, it feels like they took fan feedback from Episode 7 or from what people didn't like about Episode 7, and then they said, okay, we're going to try and right every wrong, please everybody. In doing so, they half did everything. I'm not going to spoil any of the stuff, because if you are hyped for the movie or you want to see it, by all means, go see it. I can't wrap my head around the fact that it feels to me like nothing was done fully. It was like, yeah, we gave you a little bit of that. That's what you wanted, right? It feels very boardroom decision-y in that sense. Rey is obviously off training with Luke, and those segments felt so underdone to me. There was no time to get used to anything, and yet at the same time, the film feels painfully too long. You're looking at about a 2.5 hour movie, and it felt to me easily like 3.5 hours. And there's a couple like false endings in a weird way. It just feels like, oh, here's where we're hitting our final act. Okay, oh no, you still got like an hour at that point. And it trudges along. You're not getting everything you need. But, that being said, when, for instance, Daisy Ridley is on screen, she does an incredible job. She's still probably the best part of the newer cast. Of the old cast of Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, incredible job. Carrie Fisher, rest in peace. She did a very respectable job. I love the maturity her character has had over the Star Wars saga. I feel like they've captured her very well. The rest of the characters don't feel like their own characters. They feel more like an archetype, if you will. It doesn't feel right. None of the characters felt real to me. There's a whole story arc in this film that just kind of takes the story on a tangent, and you're like, that had no purpose being there. There's no real reason it exists at all. And it's really, really boring. It's just, these are those harder reviews to do, because it's just, I don't hate the movie. I like certain things about the movie. The cinematography, particularly. Daisy Ridley is incredible in the film. Mark Hamill, with what they give him, does a pretty decent job. Like, there are just these things. Oh, and of course, Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron. He's probably the most interesting character and most entertaining to watch character in terms of a lot of the newer people. Daisy Ridley and Oscar Isaac. Those two. Finn, still boring. Everybody else, I'm like, why are these characters here? And it's just sort of there. And props to anybody who catches a particular cameo in the third act. I won't spoil who it is, but it's a really interesting and random cameo. All in all, it just kind of felt like a subpar movie that's going to frankly get way more credit than it deserves. It already is getting more credit than it deserves. I gave it praise where I liked it, but there's a lot I didn't like, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to be one of those reviewers that just says, oh my god, it's so amazing because I'm obligated to like it. No, I have a lot of issues with it, but yet at the same time, it's like, I understand why Star Wars fans really adore it. It's a different Star Wars movie. It doesn't feel like Star Wars in a lot of senses. It's something in a different direction. It's just the different direction wasn't enough and didn't really work for me. It's forgettable. You stream it on a streaming platform and do other stuff around the house while it's on. Background noise. Alright, guys, gals, and everything in between. Did you guys like it, or are you one of the people like me? Is this one of those moments that we're going to be extremely divided as a movie community? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Got plenty more videos coming to you. Love you guys.